Welcome to today's meditation. It's great to have you here. Take the time to find a comfortable seat for yourself. Have your spine nice and tall, shoulders back, heart open. Relax the arms and let the hands fall somewhere comfortable on your lap. And take a moment to settle into your seat. And when you're ready, gently either close your eyes or keep the gaze low, close to you, so you're not distracted by whatever is around you. In today's meditation, we'll be doing some visualization and also some chanting near the end of practice. So if you're in a spot where chanting is going to be awkward, just know that you can chant very softly just to yourself so that you feel the vibrations. So when we chant, it's not about performing, it's not about sounding great, it's none of that. So don't get self-conscious about chanting, it's very powerful. So let's begin. Find your seat and take a deep breath in. Today we're going to use the Chariot of Embodiment as an image for our practice. This is a very popular analogy used in yoga philosophy. It goes back to the Upanishads, Katha Upanishad, and also appears in the Bhagavad Gita. And in this analogy, it helps us to find the relationship between the body, the mind, the soul, and it helps to bring some awareness to all those parts of yourself and hopefully inspire you to act in the world with more intention, with more purpose, and most importantly, discernment. So I'll ask you to imagine a chariot of your own imagination. The carriage represents your physical body, the vessel that you embody. The 5 horses pulling the carriage represent the 5 senses: sight, sound, touch, taste, smell. The reins represent your reactive mind. So you're familiar with the reactive mind. It is always obsessed with attachment or aversion. The mind is always grasping for, I want this and I don't want that. So we call this reactive mind manas. And then holding on to the reins is the charioteer, representing your discriminating intellect, your higher self. It's called the buddhi. And it's the buddhi that directs and restrains the reactive mind. This is what we try to do in our meditation. Try and constrain, find some limitations so that the mind is not wandering off like wild horses. And so it's a charity's job to keep the reins restrained wisely, so that the chariot can ride through life with ease and direction. And it's this very discrimination that we seek to cultivate in this meditation today. So with consistent practice over long periods of time, by meditating in this way, we learn to become more discerning. And that manifests in your day-to-day life by the ability to make wise decisions for yourself. That's the wisdom of yoga. And then lastly, in this analogy, and perhaps the most important symbol in this analogy, is the passenger sitting inside the carriage. And this represents your higher self, the Atman, or your individual consciousness, sometimes described as the witness, the soul. So the Atman is what observes what's happening without getting involved. So you can imagine the passenger inside the carriage watching the journey, but not commenting, not judging, simply enjoying the ride. And therefore the Atman represents a sense of equanimity. It's not reacting. It's not getting pulled all over the place. It's staying still. So let's begin by focusing on the third eye, the Agni Chakra, which sits between your eyebrows and deep inside the brain. And this is the center of inside imagination. So as you gaze into that space, I'd like you to visualize your own individual chariot. And notice the 5 horses pulling that chariot. And we'll go to the first horse, the horse of sight. So here, really begin to notice what the chariot looks like, the size of it. Notice the wheels of the carriage, what the horses look like, what kind of colors you can see, you can imagine here. Perhaps different textures. So get a visual here for your carriage, for your chariot. And then we're going to focus on the horse of sound, the second sense. What can you hear? So notice distant sounds, the further sounds that you can hear in the space that you're in. Focus. Then come a little bit closer. What are the sounds that perhaps you can hear in the room next door or outside the building that you might be sitting in? Focus. And now, what can you hear inside the room, close to you, around you? Which sounds can you identify? And then come really close. Now you're inside your body, listening to your breath. And if you can't hear your breath, maybe you can begin to breathe a little bit more deeply, a soft Ujjayi breath, if you're familiar with that, whispering the breath in through the nose, slight constriction of the throat, whispering the breath out of the nose as well. Or you can breathe out of the mouth and make sound like a sigh. Whispering the breath in and whispering the breath out. Listen to the sound, the natural rhythm here of your breath. Another few moments here listening to the sounds of your body. Maybe you can hear some gurgling sounds in the digestive organs. Focus. Look for the detail. And then releasing sound. Let's come now to the third sense, the horse of touch. So feel your body. Feel your body on the floor or on a chair if you're sitting on a chair. Feel the weight of your body grounded. Feel the texture of the clothing on your skin. And then the areas of your skin that are bare, feeling the sensation of the air against your skin. Scan your body and notice any parts that might feel tight, uncomfortable. And then other parts of your body that might feel quite free and open. And maybe parts of your body that feel vulnerable. Perhaps you have injuries, new or old, areas that you know are quite fragile. Notice the sensation of your bones strong in your body. The mass, the bulk of your muscles. And the fluids moving through your body. Release that now. Let's bring our attention to the horse of smell. Bring your awareness to your nostrils. What can you smell? Some smells might be obvious, or some might be very subtle. How many scents can you identify here? And let's move now to our last sense, the horse of taste. So now bring your awareness to your tongue. What can you taste? Maybe there's an aftertaste of something that you may have eaten or drunk earlier. Focus on your tongue. First, the tip of the tongue. Then moving to the center of the tongue. The very back and the sides of the tongue. Just notice if you can identify any taste on the tongue. Let's release there the sense of taste. Now bring your attention to the reactive mind. Being quiet here, notice the thoughts that are entering your mind. And label that thought either with I want or I don't want. Attachment, aversion. And we're going to spend some time here, a minute or so, to play with that. Really noticing the thoughts and giving them a label. Notice whether they fall under the umbrella of attachment or aversion. Sometimes this is called yuck or yum. That's a nice, easy way to label, friendly way, cute way. And make sure that you're not judging yourself for this. Your thoughts are not who you are. This is an exercise in understanding the mind, not critiquing the self, which is not the mind. So understanding the patterns of the mind. Stay focused on your thoughts. And if they don't fall into the category of yuck or yum, maybe they're neutral. Stay with it a little bit longer. Focus. Try to do this in a relaxed way, in a playful way. Okay, let's release. Come back now to the third eye. It is the center of wisdom and insight. And this is an opportunity here to connect to your higher self, to your inner guru, to the charioteer in our imagery. And see if you can embody the qualities of a charioteer. Confident, brave, wise, courageous. Notice how that feels in your body. And how can you embody those qualities? Perhaps lifting the chest a little bit more, rolling the shoulders back, feeling strong in your seat. And now connect to your heart space. This is where the Atman resides. Your individual consciousness, deep in the heart, there's a flame. And that's the part of you that is observing, experiencing, but without commentary, without judgment. The witnesser. Sink into that space and simply observe. Finding that sense of equanimity. Notice how it feels to be in that seat of peace. And now bring your awareness back to your body, the carriage. Bring your thumb and forefinger lightly touching. This is Jnana Mudra, the mudra of knowledge. The thumb represents universal consciousness. The forefinger represents the Atman, individual consciousness. And this mudra, this hand seal, represents the union of both. Your individual consciousness joining up to the whole of the universe. This is the teaching of the Upanishads, that we are made of the same consciousness as the whole of existence. So now bring your awareness back to the heart space. And we're going to gently chant Om, A-U-M, creating little vibrations in the heart space. This sound is the very representation of consciousness. It is consciousness. So you can chant very softly if you need to, whatever makes you feel comfortable. Take a big breath in, lift the chest, lift the sternum, and then gently chanting in the heart space. Little moment to let the vibrations settle. Don't worry about the sound. Instead, feel the vibrations in the heart space, softening and opening the heart. Again, big inhale. One last one. Inhaling, lifting the chest. minute of silence to meditate in that space. Quiet, nothing to do, just be here. If you'd like to stay longer in your meditation, pause the video, stay there for as long as you like. If you'd like to come out, take a deeper breath in, sighing out. And then begin to bring some small movements in the body, squeezing and stretching the toes, fingers, wrists, any kind of movement to slowly get you back into your body. You might want to stretch, yawn. Hands at the heart in Anjali Mudra, palms together. Create an intention of how you can bring this practice into your life so that you can have more wisdom in your day-to-day life.